Today's top stories at NBR: leaky building class action has been adjourned, further measures to take the heat out of the housing market, KiwiSaver performances, and there's more coming right up. Kia ora and welcome to NBR Today, a wrap of the day's top business stories from the authority in New Zealand business news since 1970, nbr.co.nz. It's Tuesday, August 3rd. I'm Paul Brennan. Thanks so much for joining us. Marlborough Wine Company in Devon is not ruling out further acquisitions following its significant deal for Villa Maria yesterday, the latest in a series of wine asset tie-ups the company has made. And it has plans to leverage the Villa Maria brand across the US, UK and Australian export markets it serves, particularly in America. Yesterday, a deal to buy the holding company of winemaker Villa Maria was announced following a 9-month sales process. A 34-hectare parcel of land owned by Villa Maria near Auckland Airport was also picked up by NZX-listed Goodman Property Trust for $75 million. The $220 million leaky building class action against cladding maker James Hardie has been adjourned, with potential for the case to suffer the same fate as the Carter Holt claim discontinued last month. Jack Hodder QC, counsel for the defendant, James Hardie, confirmed the adjournment for discussions to take place. The review is ongoing as we speak, he said. However, he declined further comment. The lawyer leading the class action, Adina Thorne, was not immediately available for comment, nor was the plaintiff's counsel, Stephen Hunter QC. Hearings on the huge claim began at the High Court on May 17 and were expected to continue for 15 weeks. The Reserve Bank is pursuing further measures to take the heat out of the housing market and will consult with banks about introducing tighter mortgage lending criteria from October. The move is aimed at protecting first-home buyers from overextending themselves financially. Deputy Governor and General Manager for Financial Stability, Jeff Biscand, said the bank was particularly concerned about those who have borrowed in the past 12 months at high loan-to-value ratios and high debt-to-income restrictions. Biscand said if house prices were to fall, some buyers could face the possibility of negative equity, which means the value of their property is below the outstanding balance on their mortgage. And he said that despite already making adjustments to LVR restrictions to partially manage this risk, the bank had not seen a sufficient reduction in risky lending. NZX-listed Canasouth's recently completed capital raise generated just $4.5 million of the $6 million needed to secure its cultivation joint venture acquisition and needs a $1.5 million placement to buy out its cultivation joint venture partner. In early July, the medical cannabis company announced a capital raise of $6 million and the ability to accept $2 million in oversubscriptions, the funds from which would be used to buy out its two joint venture partners for a combined value of $4.57 million. But the money was also going to be used to keep the lights on until it began making wholesale deals. In an announcement to the market this morning, the company said it had raised $4.5 million in the retail offer through the issue of 11,250,000 new ordinary fully paid shares and 3,750,000 options. KiwiSaver performances reflected underlying good market conditions in the June quarter, with all multi-sector funds posting positive returns, Morningstar said in its latest survey. Funds with larger exposures to international growth assets generally outperformed over the 3-month period, with average returns ranging from 1.6% for the conservative category to 5.9% for the aggressive sector. The top performers over the quarter compared with their peer groups were the ANZ Default Conservative Fund on 2.3%, One Answer Conservative Balanced with 3%, ASB Positive Impact on 4.9%, AMP ANZ Growth on 5.9%, and Milford Aggressive with 7.8%. A report laying out the borders reopening is due out next week, clarifying the possible scenarios the government will be weighing, but ongoing modelling work suggests a phased reopening paired with shorter quarantine periods for vaccinated travellers. In the void created by the wait for the advice, business sectors, especially hotel operators, are criticising the government for its lack of certainty, especially around possible timetables or the criteria that could prompt different border changes. In response to questions from the NBR on whether any changes to border policies were yet tied to any vaccination thresholds. Ministry of Health Deputy Director General of Strategy and Policy, Marie Roberts, said vaccination rates would play a key role in any potential future changes to border settings, alongside other public health measures that are being considered by officials. No decisions have been made at this stage, she said. The full details of those stories and more are at nbr.co.nz right now. Tomorrow at NBR, law firm Chapman Tripp launches a new and unique service line in response to changing client demands. And New Zealand's only dedicated climate change venture capital fund makes its first investment. I'm Paul Brennan. I look forward to being with you again tomorrow around lunchtime for the morning's NBR trending stories. Then same time, same place, right here from 5:30 tomorrow for another NBR Today.